hands up who thinks they might see where this is going.
So I put a staple in the top of the piece of paper, covered it up with my finger, and she came out, went, ready, and went, oh, watch this, I've got a trick for you. I forgot to empty out the staple. And just went like this and went, bell! And then looked at her with a smile and, ha ha ha. She just looked at me and, like, she honestly just went. So I pulled it off, but the staple stayed in. We had to go to her kitchen and get a fork. Wedge it out. And then I spent the whole date with 2 red dots in the middle of my forehead.
I would argue that trying to trick someone into thinking you've stapled your own head is a strange thing to do on a date. I mean, why not just get a sandwich toaster out and go, watch this?
David, are we any closer to finding an answer? What do we spend
The
more time
average UK working week is 40.6 hours, excluding sleep. Couples working these hours only spend around 2 hours a day with their partner and the rest of their other time alone or with other people. So on average, we spend almost 3 times as much time with our boss than our partner.
But then that excludes sleep.
Including sleep? I can't do the maths.
What was it again? Give it to me, I'll do it.
The average UK working week is 40.6 hours. You got that?
Yeah.
Excluding sleep, couples working these hours only spend around 2 hours a day with their partner and the rest of their other
that's 14
time alone
14 hours a week.
Or with their...
It's 30 hours more with a partner per week than it is with the boss. So, Hayden Panettiere, you asked whether we spend more time with our boss or our partner, and the answer is our partner, if you include sleep. Of course, some of you will be thinking, what about people who have no boss and no partner? People who spend all their time on their own. You haven't taken into account the losers, the lost, the lonely, the desperately unemployable, and those destined to be single all their lives. Well, if you are watching this on Dave, I can only apologise. Let's see who's next. Polar bear. Hello, Rhod. I'm a polar bear. Floating around on a lump of ice 6 foot by 4 foot. How can I stop you humans from causing climate change? Well, listen, polar bears, you were happy enough to take the cash when the advertisers came knocking, weren't you? Have you seen how many lorries Coke has on the road? Do you not think of the emissions and how that might impact on your environment? And if you don't see the irony in you floating around on something the size of a glacier mint, you might want to take your shades off. Let's have a look who else we've got. We've got Tinchy Strider, ladies and gentlemen.
I thought a Tinchy Strider was a type of child's pushchair.
I thought Tinchy Strider went up the water spout.
Who's next? Tristan Gemmill off Casualty Look. Let's see what Tristan wants to know, shall we?
Hi, Rhod. Working on Casualty, we get to know quite a bit about medical science, but every now and then a question comes along that we just can't answer, so that's where I need your help. We were wondering, is it possible to knock yourself out with a punch from your own fist?
Excellent question.
It is an excellent question. David, can you have a look and see what you can find out for us? But the rest of you, what do we think? Is it possible? Have you ever knocked yourself out?
No, but my dad did. He told me... my dad's favourite story is when he used to play rugby when he was younger. And every scrum they went into, the other team won. And so his coach took him aside during the break and went, you need to knock out the hooker in the opposition. As soon as you next time you punch, knock him out, because we can't win with him. So they backed down for a scrum, and my dad said he just packed in and he went, I can't believe I'm going to do that. And he just went as hard as he could and went, oh, I think I just killed the guy. It was the hardest punch he's ever thrown. And the scrum broke up, and my dad's own hooker was unconscious. And I always loved the idea of my dad walking away from the scrum and going, oh, who did that? That's awful.
My dad said to me when I was being bullied by a kid at school, he decided to give me some tough love, and he pulled me to the front room and went, you listen to me, right? I'm sick of you coming home and whinging about that boy. You punch him once. All you have to do is turn around when he bullies you next, you punch him once and he'll never bother you again. That's my pledge to you as a father. Yeah. So I did exactly what he said. I turned round and when this kid was picking on me and I punched him, he beat the shit out of me. It is the worst piece of advice I've ever been given in my life.
over to David for a fact.
Well, martial arts are often about punching people, but the hits there are all about skill.
Martial arts are often about punching people. The ancient discipline of the martial arts.
It all comes down to who can punch the other person.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's all about skill and control. Here's an audition tape from a martial arts movie.
Any bad auditions over this side, David? Have you ever had any terrible auditions, disasters?
Oh, they're all pretty awful, to be honest.
What was your Doctor Who one like? Can you remember it?
I didn't really have an audition for that. You know.
Why not? You were sleeping with K9. Do you know what I've always wondered? Do you think a man, like a boxer, I mean, somebody trained in boxing, could knock out a hippo? I've always wondered that. Rita, do you think a man like Mike Tyson or somebody, a really big boxer, could knock out a hippo with a punch?
Maybe a baby hippo.
That's too nice an image. I'm talking about a full-on, big old, dirty, big old hippo.
No, I don't reckon he could.
Do you not?
No.
Do you reckon a man could knock out a hippo?
Yeah, but not... You'd have to take it by surprise, I think.
Yeah. If the hippo wasn't...
Yeah. Do you know, like some people, if they know a punch is coming, you can flinch and you can take it.
You think the hippo would brace?
I reckon if you did this to the hippo, if you went, oh, look at that lion.
Bang!
That's it. That's how you do it then.
I reckon Greg could knock himself out, in all seriousness. If anyone could here, because you're 20 stone, 6'8".
I've never punched anyone in the face.
Well, why don't we
in my
make
life.
this a first? Why don't you try and knock yourself out now as an experiment?
Oh, that'd be good, yeah. Punch myself in the face on national television.
Go on, punch yourself in the face to see if you can knock yourself out for the experiment.
I don't want to punch myself in the face. I have to surprise myself. You have to put some butter on a door handle so I go like that.
Look, if you put this on, I've got an eye mask for you. If you put an eye mask on, Greg, so that you can surprise yourself with a punch.
You think by covering my eyes up, I'm more likely to punch myself in the face?
Yeah, you won't see the punch coming. You might knock yourself out. You can creep up on yourself now.
I think he should put his fists like that.
And then, unfortunately, he can't see this. You might have to explain, Long.
Lift your mask up, Greg. Lift your mask up.
Lift your mask up, Greg. We're not ready.
This is what you should do, right? You should do that, and then just throw your face into it.
That's it. Just pretend there's a melee going on. Pretend there's a bit of a rumble, and then just stick your head in there.
I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put my mask on and I'm going to pretend that this whole thing isn't going on.
Now get your arms going. Come on, get your arms going.
What? I'm not going to punch myself in the face.
Get your arms going and then stick your head in the middle of it. Come on, get on with it.
What's my motivation for punching myself in the face? Well,
oh, he's still conscious.
I would love to tell you, Rita, that wasn't erotic, but I'm afraid it was. Oh, I tell you, that stings, Rita, that does. I felt like I'm being in a scene in EastEnders. Oh, that's it, you slag.
David, are we any closer to finding an answer?
I suspect we might need to bring an expert on this. So on the line, Dr. Anthony Alessi from Connecticut, who was voted Ringside Physician of the Year in 2009. Yes, he was.
Dr. Alessi, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
The question we are pondering here in the studio is, could a man, or anyone, could one knock oneself out with one's own fist?
They could not do it intentionally.
You couldn't do it intentionally?
No, I don't believe anyone can do that intentionally because we have a reflex built into the brainstem that causes us for avoidance. Now, certainly someone could be surprised if they were doing something like closing a valve that was stiff and their hand slipped and they were surprised and hit themselves. It's possible to cause a concussion.
So it's the element of surprise that's the problem?
Absolutely.
Can I ask a question at this point? If you surprised a hippo... if surprise is the key, if you surprised a hippopotamus, do you think a man could knock it out?
Only Mike Tyson.
But just to clarify, you think it's theoretically possible, but you don't know anyone that's ever done it?
I think it's so highly improbable that it could not happen.
I will take that as an answer. Thank you very much for joining us. Well, that's nearly all the questions we've had sent in this week. But Rita, you're our special guest. Do you have a question for us this evening?
Yes. What is more important to the planet, birds or fish?
What do you reckon it is?
Birds, but I have no idea why. I bet there's some explanation that you're going to find.
All right, David, can you see what you can
I will.
find out?
Yeah.
Are you a bird man or a fish man, David?
I'd always go for the chicken over the fish.
What do you reckon's more important, fish or birds?
Birds, Rod.
I think birds as well. What do you think, Adam?
Because they can...
Oh, I'm just going to go around. Let me just go along the line first. Lloyd, what do you think? Birds or fish?
Fish, definitely.
Adam?
Fish. Fish are more important. I'd miss them both. I'd hate to wake up in the morning and not hear birds tweeting.
Yeah.
But then I'd hate to wake up at all if I couldn't have fish fingers.
I think if you woke up to the sound of Fish song, that wouldn't be as appealing, would it?
Have you got any other facts for us?
There's a clip here where the fish and the birds try to settle the question for us.
But they push the herring within range of the gulls. It's a feeding frenzy.